Who allowed them to be God over my property? Think about it. What if I decided I wanted to plant a tree or a shed? Or you know how some people have, even in the past, put things around their meter to hide the ugliness of the meter? And as long as the guy could walk up and take a look at the dial and say, yep, that's the reading. As long as you didn't stop them from them taking money out of your pocket. God forbid if you did that. But, so, what if you wanted to plant a tree in the direction that this thing was aiming? Are they going to come to you and say, well, you know, your tree's interfering with our meter. You have to remove the tree, and if you don't, we'll remove the tree for you. And if that's not acceptable, then we'll just disconnect your hydro. They have positioned themselves with the stroke of a button to be God over you and to punish you any time they choose. And then you have to fight to get them to push the button to turn your hydro back on. See how easy and one-sided they've created this now? That you rub them the wrong way, and their answer to you is, take it or leave it. And if you piss us off, well, we hold the power over you at the stroke of a button. We're going to shut your power off. We're going to cripple you. We're going to hurt you. Think about that, folks. Because that's real. That is true reality. Not the stuff that they're trying to convince you on how great it's going to be for the environment. Good for the environment. It's radiating everything to death. Plants, animals, humans, everything in its path, it's destroying. It's a fact. Would you put yourself in a microwave oven? If you know that enough about that, if you would not put yourself in a microwave button, and even at the lowest setting, dare push the button, then why in the world are you not freaking out over this? It's serious. And these power companies, it's been demonstrated, they don't have a clue. They're listening to some other god. But all they care about, these power companies, is one thing. The control that's been given to them now. That's all they care about. They don't even take the time to even worry about health issues, because this little toy to them is nothing but pure power. Pure control of power. Their power over you. Why are you just rolling over and playing dead to this? They've come into your home with their poison. Their data on top of the wires coming into your home is at 6 cycles per second. That's your brainwave, folks. It's messing with you, no matter what you want to say. The other thing is the RF comes into your home through the walls and also on the wires. So they've got you cooking more ways than Sunday. And all they have to do is dismiss that and say, prove it, prove it, prove it. Because dismissing is denial. Denial is not even having to address the problem. Because if they address the problem, now they're creating the problem. They're aware of that. And so they're not even going to answer to you. They're just going to say, prove it, prove it, prove it. So we can turn around and have professional medical papers, doctors, standing up and saying, you better look at this. This is killing people. And they're just going to sit there and say, Prove it. Prove it. And they'll bring out their proof that they've paid and bought and paid for, and there's the key, bought and paid for. They're not going to get a report that goes against them when they're paying for it. Think about that. You pay anybody something enough, and they'll tell you what you want to hear, and they'll sing for you. So, enough of this mudslinging, okay? Because that's what they want. We're just wasting time. And so, we need to just take action in our hands. You know what I mean? We're going to have to, if it's not blatantly out, everybody going ripping all these things off, and now they've got no source of income, they'll turn the power back on real fast. Don't kid yourself. Or we keep fighting and we attenuate the signal no differently than what Mother Nature could end up doing. And who are these people to come along to your property, your world that they've invaded, and say, you know what? That tree's blocking our signal. It's got to go, or we're taking our meter off. Like, think of how they act. Because you know what? Been there, done that. I went to them with a bona fide medical condition saying, this thing is hurting me. I need it removed. Too bad, so sad, take it or leave it. That's what I'm told. It's the law. Well, funny, they're just closing the door and taking an easy way out because they don't want to create a domino effect. And so by closing the door, they got no domino effect. Because if there's one that wants it out, there's more than one. They know this. And so they fall, their crutches, it's the law. Well, guess what? Just outside the city limits, that was a provincial hydro company. Now, that's private, but, again, Hydro One, they're bigger because North Bay Hydro gets their hydro from Hydro One. You know what I mean? So it's the domino, but the point being is that here a bigger fish comes along, Hydro One, and says to a person, you know what, we'll give you an old one because we don't want your health to suffer. Because they know it could be a legal lawsuit. But yet, North Bay Hydro turns around and says, oh no, you're over-exaggerating, prove it. And their medical doctor, Dr. Cherico, everybody's been given all the medical facts, and not one has come forward and said, you know what? There might be something to this. Maybe we just better back off and look at the facts for a while. And if people are suffering with these things, we better give them back an old one, until we know. Because lawsuits will be coming over this. But right now, they're just like the ostrich, sticking their head in the sand, figuring that out of sight, out of mind. And hoping it'll go away by dismissal and denial and prove it. Well, when people start to see people that they love dropping dead around them because of these meters, you're not going to have to, people won't be coming to you with paper proof. People will be coming to you with emotional proof. And at that point, you cannot dismiss it or deny it any longer. So I say to you, at that point, what are your plans? What do you think you're going to do? The further you go down the rabbit hole on this and spending money in this, just means a bigger loss for you down the road, on top of all the lawsuits. And you can't even see that? What is wrong with you people? You can't stick your head in the sand and think it's going away. Sorry. Because there's too many people suffering at the hands of this thing to have it go away. And more every day will be coming forward saying, I'm suffering at the hands of this thing. It's not going away. What in the world are you hydro companies thinking? You've let power and control go to your head. All rationale is gone. What are you going to do about this? Because there will be a point in time. You know what?